Good morning, everybody. So, I have a couple things to talk about today. I just got in the mood for it, and I thought I would share. First off, on my mind, I can't get it off my mind. I had a nightmare last night that my wife cheated on me, right? It ruined everything. Money was gone. I have a special needs son, for you guys new to the channel, and he suffered greatly. Like, everything was terrible, and it's relevant because even though I've woke up and I realized it was a dream, I'm still like a little bit mad at her, and I can't seem to shake that. Like, damn it, Jackie, you ruined everything. So, but yeah, it was just a dream. So whatever. I wanted to talk about getting started in paramotoring. So I've got a couple things that are just burning in my head, and hopefully I move through them at a good pace. Most people, when they decide they want to do this, and I was no different, the first thing they try to figure out is which paramotor they should buy. And if they're clever, they might also try to figure out which wing they should buy. But pretty much it starts at like, oh, I need to buy the right paramotor. This is the thing. And it's not unreasonable. It's not like it's a dumb thought, because with everything else, that's kind of where you would start too. But aviation's a little different. Like, if you wanted to learn to drive a car, you might say, which car should I buy? If you want to learn to fly, kind of like if you wanted to learn to parachute, the first question you should ask is, who's going to teach me how to do this? That's where it begins. The number one option is to find like a professional instructor, someone who's taught a bunch of people before you. I was thinking about it as I was sort of getting ready for this video. What would a student be like if I taught him, right? And there would be, like, I can tell you some of his deficiencies. I wish I was better at weather. I've read books on weather. I've had 150 flights, etc. But I still consider me, compared to someone who's had like over 1,000 flights, to be not as good at looking at a forecast, looking at weather conditions on the field, and really knowing what's going on in the sky. Almost all my flights have been morning or evening, so midday, like I could go for a lot more experience in flights like that. Anyway, you'd be weak at weather. You'd probably be weak at airport traffic patterns and a couple other things. That's what would happen if I taught you. Whereas if you go to a real instructor who's ran through this syllabus 100 times, you wouldn't be weak at these things. The second best option is if you have like a collective of friends, right? So rather than get one amateur and then end up as a weaker version of that guy, if you were to have like 8 amateurs all chipping in, adding to your knowledge base, that might be the second best thing if you couldn't get a real instructor. When you choose an instructor, and this has been burning in my head for like a week now, they'll probably be the person that guides you towards which paramotor to buy. And there are some instructors who aren't affiliated with paramotors at all. Those people will just put you in the paramotor they think is best for you, right? They have no connection to one or the other. They may have their own biases from their experience, but mostly they just want to, set you up. The challenge with that kind of instructor is that they don't offer any support. They're not stocking any parts. They're not, maybe familiar with things that go wrong on every model across the whole range. They're not experts in the paramotor that you buy because they're not the dealer for them. If you buy a paramotor from an instructor that is associated with one brand or the other, then obviously they're going to try to put you in that one. Like, my first paramotor was a Fresh Breeze because I went to an instructor that was the American distributor for Fresh Breezes, and it was really the only item on the menu. You get a Fresh Breeze. They have a couple of them for different size people and experiences, and that's what you do. And then when things went wrong, they were able to service and support it, right? So that's the upside of that. And if you talk to a pilot, almost every pilot tells you to buy what they bought, right? One, they think they're doing good for you because obviously they think it's the best. That's why they chose it. Two, I don't know, maybe it like reaffirms their own decision. Like, the more people that get it, the better I feel about my choice, etc. So pilots tell you to buy what they bought. Instructors with no affiliation just tell you to buy what's good for you, and instructors with an affiliation tell you to buy their stuff, but they can service and support it, which actually becomes a pretty big deal over your paramotoring experience. So I was wondering what AviatorPPG does. Like, hey man, I get it. You want people to buy Air Conceptions. How's that right? And what they do is they have every competitor's paramotor in stock. They've got this like a Connex box full of paramotors, and they're like, you want to try a Scout? Knock yourself out. We've got a Scout there. You can test it. You can fly it. You can do your thing. You want to fly a flat top? We've got it. We have it for you. Nirvana. right? You want to fly an Instinct or whatever, they've got them. So before you buy an Air Conception, you get a chance to try on or fly like all their major competitors. And I was like, oh, that seems like the best idea. You know, I know I sound biased because I'm at their school and I'm getting kind of associated with them. I just thought it was a neat way of solving the dealer problem, which is like, oh, I sell Hondas, you should buy a Honda. They're like, I sell Hondas, but I'll tell you what, I got a Toyota, a Ford, a Chevy, everything here right on the lot. Test them all. And I have confidence you'll come back and buy my Honda. So I was like, huh, that's a neat way to solve that conundrum of, you know, the biased dealer thing. That's pretty cool. Anyway, today should be a more interesting day at school. They're going to hop in a motor simulator. They might tow. They're definitely going to kite and lots of cool stuff. So we'll cut this here and we'll start doing some school stuff. Turning the sound way down while you guys admire John's best side. There it is, still in frame, and he's gone. AviatorPPG, what they do is their students for their first flight have a set routine, and they intentionally make them do everything that is scary. So they're going to have them stow the brakes, pull themselves in their seat, grab the brakes, weight shift left, weight shift right, make some steering inputs. They're going to stow the brakes, grab the trimmers, go faster. These are things that, like, in some of the cases, like changing the trimmers, I don't think I did that till like 15 flights in because I was scared of it. And it originated from, I hope I can share all this, Eric Farewell, he's half owner of the school. His father didn't stow the brakes and adjust his trimmers until some like crazy, he had dozens and dozens of flights. And he was like, aha, this is a learning thing. Let's get our students to do some of the things that are frightening on their first flight and just put that behind them. So here they're doing a dry run. This is instructor to instructor, but every student will sit in this giant paramotor swing set and walk through what the first flight is going to be like. And that's what they're doing now. There's a radio, and that's a helmet radio.
Life, you're going to be running, okay? When that wing is above your head, it's going to take that weight off of your feet. So it's going to be easier to run, and you're going to have that thrust pushing you. So obviously in real life, you're going to be running, okay? The goal here is not to run, okay? The goal here is to practice that posture, that good lean back, by shooting your hips forward. I want you to think about shooting your hips forward. Eric always says, shoot your dick out, okay? It's the exact same thing. The goal here is to practice that posture, get comfortable with a running motor on your back, and get a feel for that throttle and how that thrust feels on your back.
To me. Very good. Release. Lean back. Power.
Stop in there.
Left, left, right, left, pressure, pressure, release, pressure, left, right, right, right. Good, there you go.
Tricking me.
Just remember that we want it, it's always the hands. I'm not talking about which direction to move, I'm not talking about anything else, I'm talking about the hands. You're always moving with the glider, letting it lead you as your body moves across the field, and you're always doing the correct hand input. That's it. Cool. So we push this back over across. 1, 2.
I have some footage of guys kiting early on. I think this might actually be his first time pulling up any wing ever. So I have some footage of people kiting early in the day and then kiting at the end of the day. And most of the students made a ton of progress. You can see he's got a cravat on the side and maybe, I don't know. So that's not ideal. But as time passes, these guys start nailing it and they start getting it right all day long. And it was pretty cool to see see it click with the different students, right? And some guys it would click right away, some guys it was clicking the next day. They teach a little differently than I do. I don't know why I'm commenting on this, but they teach people which brake to pull, right? So if you're flying reverse like he is right now, then the brakes are crisscrossed in front of you, and you use your right brake to control your left side. But if you turn around, then your right brake is on your right side. And I always say, pull the high side, stand under the logo. In my mind, that's a super simple way. Here's the same guy a few hours later, really getting the knack for it. You see him making these adjustments, sliding. What you need, you've got two tools. You've got your feet and you've got your hands. And if you use them both, you don't need to use either one quite as much. He lost it. It is his first day. But you can tell these guys are learning. And that's really where it is. A few minutes later, with a little more experience, these guys are crushing it.
Perfect. By the time you do anything, stay under. There you go. Move back up a little bit. There you go. You always want to keep that air in there. That's alright. It'll fix itself. Back up. There you go. It'll fix itself. Right full right. You're pulling around one. There you go. Got it.
And that's a wrap on day 2. I think after this, we watched some inspiring videos. Everyone was getting pretty psyched to fly. Day 3 has towing involved and a personal failure from me. So I'll share that with you guys. Until then, enjoy my outro.
Multi-million-dollar deals, got $1 million deal. When I was younger, I would wonder how $1 million feel. And for real, it feel like I ain't even broke a seal. Cause when you drop hits, they want you to pick up the bill. Now my life is in Maryland, my heart is in Chicago. New York state of mind, but out LA, man, that's where I go. When I need to lay this shit down, so much on my mind, that's the reason I'm